You've completely shifted gears on the next picture, the YAKUZA.
Yeah. Well, the YAKUZA, I think, is a terrific picture. I think it's one of the better pictures that I've done. It's not an audience picture at all. It's a picture that got fairly well received critically. Nobody went to see it. It's an oddball movie that very few people even know. But it's a movie that I like a lot.
Paul Schrader credits you with starting his career. That was on that picture.
Well, it was his first big break. He's a very talented guy, and again, I had a similar problem working with him. Not quite like Milius, but it was a taste problem. In other words, he was an ex-critic and a real film buff, and his models for everything were films that he'd seen before, and he approached everything from a sort of a genre point of view. You know, let's have a little violence in the first 10 minutes, then we can have some later. And I kept saying, I don't know what that means. All I know is this scene doesn't work. You know, but he was terrific, and his brother was terrific, Len, too, and they were both good, and they came over while we were shooting. Robert Town came and did the rewrite for me on that. And I got to work with Mitchum, who's just wonderful to work with, and Brian Keith and some Richard Jordan, some real good actors, and a wonderful Japanese cameraman named Kozo Okazaki, and spent a lot of time in Japan. And I still think that that's a pretty damn good picture.
Now, Mitchum kind of harkens back to that grand personality style of acting, if indeed there is such a thing.
Mitchum is like an old, wise horse. He'll go just as fast or as hard as you make him. He can do anything. He can do anything. But he'll get away with as little as he thinks he can get away with. Not out of laziness, but out of the fact that I think he thinks most people don't know the difference. And sometimes it's true. You know, Mitchum is one of those guys that the world sometimes underestimates, and they never should, because he's a wise character who knows a lot about life. And what you see in that face is really there. You know, it's really been marinated in life, as have his thoughts and his whole persona. He's an extraordinary guy.